What's up, people? Welcome to the second episode of Who TF Is, because you can't say what the TF part is on YouTube in the first minute of the video, or else
What's that stand for? What's it stand for?
I'll tell you in 45 seconds what it stands for. Where we learn about people in the video game industry, a different side of things, and I ask random questions that don't really have any place being asked. Last week we had MVG on. You guys seem to enjoy it, so we're back with Spawnwave this week. Spawnwave, how you doing?
Good. It's good to be here, Sean.
It's good.
On the second channel. What's the channel called now?
RGT Live and Extras, or Extras and Live.
I think I like tables, ladders, and Sean more.
Didn't really make sense if I wasn't doing wrestling stuff though.
But if you put tables and ladders in the background, you could make it make sense.
I mean, there's a table back there.
See, we're halfway there. You need a ladder.
It's nice and blurry too, because I have a cool effect on my camera. But yeah, so we're going to start things off with a very important question. What is your favorite type of cheese?
Favorite type of cheese? Ooh, that's a You know what? I do like a sharp cheddar with some crackers. You know how like you'll go.
Can
to
we
like
say
a,
that word though? Aren't people on Twitch getting banned for saying crackers?
Oh, I don't know. Are they?
I think so. I think it's like a whole big thing now.
I mean, I was just talking about like Ritz crackers, but all right.
Oh, okay, good. The proper type of cracker. So,
or I don't know. Are you allowed to serve Ritz crackers next to fancy cheese at these like house party things?
Oh, fuck
or
yeah,
you have
dude.
to go for like the really nice crackers.
No, you do whatever. If it's your party, you do whatever, and like people just have to accept it.
Okay.
So, how you've been on YouTube for a little, as far as your main channel, you've been on YouTube a little longer than I have. In case people aren't familiar, you came from a video game store background. Please tell the viewers, listeners, whatever, how this came to be.
I think it was late 2016. So it was like right around when the Wii U was on the way out and the Switch was coming in. And I was working at a couple different stores, repairing stuff, and then like running the retail area and all of this. And I thought, you know what, let's just talk about the Switch one day. And then I just started making YouTube videos with like a terrible Sony hand camera and like no microphone. And then that was it. And I just posted, videos for thoughts on different things. And here we are.
And how long did you do it before you decided, okay, I can make this an actual gig. I don't need to, when did you start taking it more serious?
Probably right when the Switch was like releasing or just after that, because you see like the subscriber number go up and the views are coming in and you're like, oh, maybe I should do this more. And then it just kind of, I don't know, just stair step from there. And like a year later, I was like, maybe I can do this full time. And then that was it. And then I was like, once you go full time, there's some, obviously some time, but then also some pressure to make sure you're delivering and putting videos out and stuff.
Well, I mean, you came up with a brilliant schedule that obviously a lot of people are probably jealous of, because you have dedicated times of when the Spawncast is going to happen, when Newswave is going to happen. So it's a brilliant idea. I wish I was a tenth as smart as you are, as far as like scheduling stuff is concerned.
Well, all I really did was look at like TV and G4, because I used to watch that all the time back when they were like in the old days. But you would have like a schedule and when things were coming up, like when like Cinematech was going to happen, when X-Play was going to happen. And I said, well, what if I just did that for the channel, and people know that a show is going to go up at like 8 a.m. or something.
So you're not a cord cutter is what you're saying. You embrace the cord.
At this point, I guess I kind of have brought the cord to YouTube then, because I'm like, it's this time, and that's when it airs. And then I have like sporadic things at times, like on the weekends, I'll just post up like a tech video whenever. But like the Spawncast, we have it at a certain time. Even if we pre-record it, I schedule it for 9 p.m. that night, Saturday night. And then the new stuff, I just compile it all in the video, and just 8 a.m. is when it goes up.
Well, I mean, it's smart, because, it's kind of like the Netflix effect, where you have all this stuff at your disposal, but it's like, well, what do I want to watch? Whereas if you still have cable TV, it's scheduled. Like, I know when the Knicks are going to play. I know when wrestling is going to come on. So, I feel like it works in that aspect. Whereas, the whole sensory overload thing of all these on-demand services and stuff, like it's tough. Like it's tough to figure out what you want, because you have so much at your disposal, instead of just being told this is what you can watch at this point in time. So I think it definitely works out very well in your
I'll tell you,
favor.
I've never been more aware of when wrestling or the Knicks are playing because we got to schedule Halo around these things.
You know
So I
what's
always know. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, the Knicks, they'll be done in like an hour. They're in the second half now. So
so we're
we'll
filming
play
this on Thursday the 13th, and there is a huge game on Saturday the 15th because the Knicks just stole one of the players from the Atlanta Hawks, Cam Reddish, in an
then.
absolute steal of a deal. And we play the Hawks on Saturday, and we hate the Hawks too.
Oh.
So yeah, it's gonna be ugly. Now I have a very
Is
important
that player going to play against his old team?
yeah, because he'll have time. He'll have time to get into the
Oh,
rotation and stuff.
that's kind
Because
of unfair. He knows all the plays and everything.
right, just I mean, I hate the Hawks. And I have a very important question for you, and this may be something that a lot of people don't know about you. Why do you hate music?
I don't necessarily hate music. I just prefer talk, I guess, radio or listening, I guess is what you'd say. Like, I just never got into the whole music thing.
We went on when we went to Long Island Retro. When I lived in Delaware, John picked me up, and we went, and it was like probably 2.5, 3 hours, and the man never put on a single song. We listened to YouTube videos, we listened to like podcasts and stuff. I thought it was the strangest thing in the world because I'm ready to sit there and jam, see what John gets down with, but the man hates music. He doesn't.
No. Well, I mean, don't you just listen? Most people just listen to the same songs over and over again.
Yeah, you get that hood rat shit going. You know, you get
I think-
hype. You start just grilling people next to you for no reason.
I think the way I look at it is, I like when we were in that car for like 3 hours going to New York. In my mind, I'm wasting 3 hours in this car going to New York, and I'm like, well, how can I get more out of this? And in that sense, I'm like, maybe I can expand my mind a bit and listen to conversation or just I don't know, learn things through that, to talk radio and stuff. That's what I'd rather do. It keeps my mind active rather than I feel like if I listen to the same music over and over again, I'd zone out. Just kind of hanging out.
I feel like I may be wrong on this, but didn't we listen to like a diatribe on DSP?
That was when Down the Rabbit Hole came out, and I thought it was the funniest video because it's like an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
And sometimes what I like to do is because I've been trying to do more script work as well with some videos. I like to just watch YouTube videos where people are obviously good at putting these things together with scripting and like documentary type stuff. And that person who does Down the Rabbit Hole will make like some of the most well thought out documentaries about the strangest things, like that you figure you wouldn't need it for. Like they did one on like the Final Fantasy house and a bunch of other stuff. Never heard of these things, but it's like Netflix grade like documentaries.
Yeah.
So I like you can learn a lot from those just watching them.
I recently watched a documentary that came on after wrestling about Action Park, which was a place in Jersey. It was like the most dangerous water park in the world because like it was big during like the 70s and 80s and like very early 90s. And it was just so fascinating because it was so well put together to like learn about these rides where like motherfuckers were literally dying on them. Like
that sounds like something I'd listen to on the way to New York.
it's called Action Park. I think it's on Hulu right now too.
What I'll say to people who are making these documentaries, make it so that you can get a good experience out of listening to it too, because I keep hearing from people that I am like their companion on the way to work when they're driving to work in the morning.
Yes, and and plus you drop at a perfect time for that, so you know, catch up on everything. Meanwhile, I don't know. I think I rely a bit more on like visual clues, like when I'm just throwing my arms around like an idiot monkey.
No, people still listen. I'll still just listen to you randomly when I'm like on the treadmill or like doing other things.
Does it make you run harder to run away from it? I've got to escape.
That's what I'll do though. I'll listen to like things on YouTube and stuff while I'm doing other things. It's like background noise for me. So I get through a lot of videos and stuff, and I like to listen to people's thoughts on different things as well. Just be like, oh, was I on with this, or was I even close to what this community thinks about like these topics? I'll try to cover a lot of topics,
right?
And at times, my opinion might be way different than what like a certain community's opinion is. Like especially if they're fans of any one system. And like some days I'm the good guy or the bad guy, depending on the system that people like. So.
Well, I mean, there's fans, and then there's like fans. I'm using quotation marks if you're listening to this, because like they're the ones who like you say anything negative about their favorite company, like you're the Antichrist. And I
Yeah,
don't
I
I
get
don't
that a lot.
understand that because at the end of the day, like yes, you have a big following. I have a big following, but it's like it's still at the end of the day, it's just one person's opinion. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not going to make or break anything in the grands. All because someone doesn't like something that you like, it doesn't mean anything bad about it. It's just personal preference.
I think it gets more out there when like people will do the zoom in on Twitter on certain games to try to get like the visuals looking really bad, and then they'll put it like next to a really good looking high def picture from another game, and they'll compare them, or like the fruit stand stuff from Halo and
My
Call of
God.
Duty, and it's like that's a lot of time spent on stuff that's you can just look up in 2 seconds and be like, yeah, they were obviously skewing those things with the
Yeah,
comparisons.
it's very insequential. So we had obviously very, I would probably say, different lives and like high school and stuff. Now you're married, you have two kids with one on the way, or three kids with one on the way.
2 kids, one on the way.
How long have you been married?
Ooh, a little while now.
Was this like
10 years, yeah.
high school girlfriend or what?
This was out of high school into college.
Okay, so you met her in high school though.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
we knew each other in high school. I didn't really. I've basically lived around this area, like this tri-state area, like a whole life from all these different states. It was like where we had Delaware, and then like Maryland, and then like up in New Jersey, and then into in the PA, and basically just all over these different states here,
I
but
mean,
mostly in this like area.
it's honestly the best place to live. If you like seasons, it's a great place to live and good food.
You see them all. But the
You
nice thing
see
is you can
them.
get they can get to Philly, Baltimore, or any of these places pretty quick.
So so was this like the first chick? You're like, all right, marry her. We're done. You don't got to worry about it. Because at times I feel jealous of something like that because it's like it's the whole consistency thing. You have that
Hmm.
consistency. You have that news wave upload. Whereas I'm like, whoopity doo. Who am I hitting up today? So I feel like you're a man of consistency, and this is one of
Hmm.
your consistent things. Would you say that's an accurate statement, sir?
I mean, kind of. In college, in college you're all over the place. But yeah, leaving college, I was like, yeah, it's just gonna roll with it now.
What's it like having kids?
It's tiring,
Like I can imagine
hectic.
because you work a lot, and then it's
Mm.
like, so I'm assuming like work, hang out with kids, pretty
Yeah,
much
but back
work
in the
out.
back when I was working at back in the day though, when I work at these stores, some stores were in New Jersey, and I would just be gone till like 8 or 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Right. Well, I
So
mean,
now I'm at home more now. So
yeah, that
unless
makes
I'm at like
sense.
an office, like I have an office that I go to, but otherwise I'm home more now than I was when I was doing stuff with stores.
What's the most illegal thing you've done
Most illegal thing I've done?
that like statutes of limitations have run out on?
I mean, I've you download like the ROMs back in the day.
Jesus
That's run out,
Christ.
right?
Is that is that as wild as we're getting with this?
Illegal though.
Like you
Like
ever rob
that I
someone or
commit on
something?
camera. I've never robbed anyone. No, you robbed anyone? No, I didn't even like forget to give people their games back in the day when I'd borrow a game. Like you always hear that story from someone. It's like, yeah, my one friend took that game that's worth like hundreds of dollars now and they never give it back. I
Yes,
didn't even
I've
do
lived
that.
that story many times with many different people.
Were you the one taking the game or
No,
lending the game out?
I was the one lending the game. However, when I worked at GameStop,
Hmm.
and I'll ask you for if you have a similar story like this
Hmm.
because people bitch that I talk too much with MVG. There was a customer. I was the only person working. It was a very busy day, and there was a customer who was like hell bent on getting these trade-ins done because he wanted cash. He was probably a crackhead or whatever, and so like he ends up skipping a line, just making all this noise. And I remember he had like it was Marvel Superheroes on the PlayStation 1, and I was like, this is an uncommon game. So I'm taking his trade-ins, and I just kind of put that one off to the side, and I didn't calculate that in the trade-in, and then I gave him
Oh
his money,
man.
and then I was like, yoink, my game now. Did you ever do any hood rat shit like that at your store? Because we used to do terrible things at
We used
GameStop.
to get okay. We used to get stuff that people would bring in. This was back before like GameStop took trading on retro games, and they'd walk in with a pile of Nintendo 64 games, be like, can we trade these in? It's like, well, we don't take those at all. And then they just kind of stand there, and I'm like, and you go, but I'll give you $20 for them. And that would happen a lot. And then they'd be like, and then, the manager would be like, you got to go outside. You can't do that in here.
Yep.
You go outside, and person would give them $20 at the store and be like, all right, that was easy. So that would happen quite a bit, actually. I mean, I would see 64, Super Nintendo, Genesis, all the stuff come in, and then someone in the store would go out and buy it from them in the parking lot.
Yeah, that's how I got my sizable Game Gear collection. I actually made a video on this channel yesterday talking about a Game Gear game, and the kid just came in with a Game Gear and a bunch of games, and he was like, I need some money. And I was like, dude, we don't take it, but meet me outside. And
Dude,
I'll see you outside
back
in 5
in the days
minutes.
of GameStop, we had like the district manager who was like real serious, like showing up every week and like checking footage, and the field destroys in the back that you were supposed to destroy, but no one really did. They just threw them in the dumpster. They would come in and like make sure you actually broke it with a hammer and screwdriver.
See, when I was working there,
serious.
they didn't have cameras. This was before. So, I mean, we weren't robbing them or anything, but we would, you would have the rule, and then you would find a way to sort of skirt around the rule or make the rule work in your favor. But yeah, our DM was a fucking moron too. Like he hired me, but he hated me. So it like made no sense. Like he was always trying to look for something to catch me up on. No, this dude hated me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't stand me. So I would say you're a very simple man. Is that correct? Like you got what you got, you like what you like structure, you don't like chaos, and you like for things to just sort of be the way they are.
Yeah, I would say so. To a degree.
You're very adult. You're kind of the yin to my yang. And I think that's why the show, the Spawncast,
because you're like
works.
Chaotic.
Yeah, like I'm extremely chaotic. Like I don't structure bothers me because it's like you're sitting there dreading that you have to do something at a certain time, and it's like, no, I don't want to.
I feel like on the Spawncast, Nate is probably the most structurally sound, and then it works its way down from there.
Okay.
Because he's got it. Just the way he'll talk about things, it sounds really proper, right? Like the way he'll use certain words and phrases.
Except when we're on Halo. This motherfucker! I'll kill this motherfucker! Look at this motherfucker! It's like, all right, go hail you a cab in Brooklyn. Well, John, I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. Is there anything you would like to say? Obviously, everyone can find you on Spawnwave Media's channel, Spawnwave, Spawncast, Spawnwave Extra, or was it Spawn Extras?
Spawnwave Plus.
Spawnwave Plus. That's it. Yeah, anything you want to plug or tell the listeners, viewers?
No, just come on by and see me there, but make sure you subscribe to Sean's channel here because he's actually posting to it now.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
He remembered he had it.
A little bit of consistency. All right, so this was Spawnwave on Who the Fuck Is, because we can say fuck now because we're well out of that 1 minute mark. Thank you guys for listening to this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to let me know in the comments section down below who would you like to see on the future in this show, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.